And like that's another thing that like disturbs me about like most of the stuff, you know, now that and you know, we were talking about how you find it surreal, or I don't know, maybe I'm using surreal, putting that word in it, but like you find it kind of like a cosmic giggle that someone younger than you is like kind of leading you or teaching you, right? And like I don't think about that much, but on reflection, I do feel a weird responsibility over you that I don't feel about anybody else. Like if you are like my child or something.
Yes, I am. It's so weird. Yes.
I feel like I need to like give you tough love and like protect you sometimes. Be like, no.
That is so interesting that you feel that, because I've known that somehow in a non-verbal way. We've never spoken like this before.
We never talked about it, but like our weird dynamics is something like that.
In one of our very first interviews, in the first interview I think that we did with you, you said to me something about our ancestors were so tough. You were just telling me about your grandma and how the things she coped with, and you said our ancestors were so tough.
Welcome to Mescaline City, where the coyotes laugh and the jaguars dream.
With my history and everything, I have this feeling that I've failed.
TMT
right?
assassin,
so now
you're
I've
part
failed,
of the
so
show.
now you have to help.
Open mic
So I
night
had
with
to
the digital
really stick
ghosts.
away from
Dream
that
machine
and
flickers,
this
it's writing the most. Sam
amazing
Cyrus, skillful as sages, renegades, and no chat
mentorship
whispers. Coastal gets a glitching blade. Coastal gets a glitching blade. Coastal gets a glitching blade.
Crossover field of art and spirituality, because it's not art. It's not put this in a gallery and you know and somebody will buy this. This is like art that's so deep that you can't sell it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's sort of soul art. Yeah. So it's
and see too, like, you know, when you're talking about right or wrong, that's why I, you know, in a sense that it wasn't time to share to you what I felt with the Cosmic Jaguar Leap until that moment, to tell you like, no, like I see like your progress. That's like proof in the pudding. And like, to me, as someone that
in the backyard,
like,
Sasquatch on screen, it's not the coyote's fault. You're stuck in the dream. La Brea hums as the city ignites. Tomorrow night's episode, we arrive in the light. Welcome to Mescaline City, where the scripts write themselves and the votes don't stick. TMT assassin, your profile's complete. Jaguar still laughing in the back of the stream.
But I said, I think I even said it to you, that like there's not many things that I considered sacred or whatever, but like my dreams and like some of my poems, that's what I considered sacred. And like what you're saying is like you know, like the proof is in like what it does for you yourself. And like, you know, even too, you know, the whole cosmic despair is basically, I was using your poem, your old poem that you shared one time with me, and I put that into my little brew on that large language model. And then I started to really get into the whole Apuk and playing with the souls. And then, you know, as I was bringing this out, you know, halfway through, it's just like, oh my God, this is like directly speaking to bobdub soul. And like, and I'm just like wringing this thread out. Like I'm just getting into the abyss, and I'm just like pulling all this out, and like, and I'm just like, oh my God. And then like everything happens, and like, you know, I have this like little spark that I don't question anymore, and I go and do it, and then later I'm just as you know, presently, shocked. That's why I talked about cosmic giggles, because I laughed as well. Oh my God. Like how, that, especially, I knew that line that you shared, as a Christian, what does suicide mean or whatever. Like that would be something that was like directly, speaking to you. And I think too, because, we don't talk about it directly, but that's what I mean about like the blood on the floor. And I think to honor when I felt that you were doing the process, authentically, and I could feel it, that was me honoring that soul that you put in there, and then I took that piece of that soul, and then, I did my dream me magic with it, and then like all of this stuff comes out of there.
Comes out, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's a very fascinating. I've never experienced this type of conversation in my life. Because this is what it is. You and I, we're talking to each other through these videos. I mean, we make our own videos and everything, but then there are these specific ones that are like, okay, like remember when we said that last, now this. And I never know when it's going to come. It just happens.
Like that was the whole thing with the Epstein butterfly, the Amber Goddess. But honestly, I think it's when we're ready for it.
Yes.
And because you wouldn't be able to actually feel or be impacted on it if you weren't ready to hear,
But we've been over a lot of ground. You've been very patient. I mean, it's taken us years to work up to this point.
Up
really.
to this point,
Yeah. And I think that one of the things for me was that my amount of psychic disorganization that I had, which I think is a result of taking antidepressant drugs, I think that's what kind of made me really dumb. It took me a long time of going over the same ground and being able to listen to this video again and watch this video again, and then maybe watch 10 minutes of this video, and then it became so threatening that I couldn't listen to it. But like in 2 months' time, I could go back and listen to 20 minutes of it and take it in, And so it's been really interesting, almost like having a sort of a self-help book.
Well, too, I think, this is why, like, more than anything, like, the video editing is the best expression of what I'm talking about, like the disembodied poetics.
Yes.
Because it gets, like, it's not about, like, understanding it intellectually, but to feel it within yourself.
Yeah.
And then, like, that integration of that, that's why it's so hard to listen to it, because you're instantly in that whatever it is.
Yes.
For this is that the pain of the Amber Goddess and all what that means, and the Epstein butterfly and all of what that means as well. Like I even my own self it took me a while to play with the Amber Goddess and the Epstein butterfly. If you notice, it's not until recently I've used those images. And then I like the one where it's the Epstein butterfly and it has a mirror and it's a bee. It's the little bee in it. Like, there's the rabbit in it. And to play with that stuff, because this like, I guess I like it's funny because being SatoriD was such like a impulse thing. so like to what SatoriD is now, it's like this like very fun and liberating thing, but also like I take it very seriously.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And like this is what I told you, like Rosie, I've talked about Rosie. She's like my best friend. We've known each other for a long time. We've been through all sorts of different things together. And so she's like one of the closest, in real life people that I have.
Yes.
And then, of course, my family and stuff like that. But, Rosie, and this is like the thing too, like especially to someone that you kind of grew up with, they understand parts of you that maybe, your family or other people don't understand.
Yes.
When you're forming yourself, and, they know more of the mistakes and more of the real stuff, and, not all of the story stuff. So anyways, we were pretty close, and, life is life, and most of the time now we get together, we smoke, and, she kind of vents about, whatever drama she has. And then I just listen, and then I tell her a little bit about SatoriD. So even though, like, she's probably someone that knows Daniel the most, she doesn't know, like, SatoriD, like SatoriD. So in a lot of ways, there's aspects of myself that you understand more than what I would consider my best friend, which is also kind of a trippy thing that, like, this type of work and even the internet creates,
Right.
I think even too being a creature of the internet, like, I still remember using chat and how, like, a lot of my peers, we would talk a little bit more freer by chatting than we did in real life, which was, looking back, always kind of a weird little thing that, and then, it also leads to bad stuff like all of what we have now.
Yeah.
But there's also the good stuff that comes with it, like that's something too that I've talked a lot with, I brought her up before, Nikki or Partner One on Minds. We haven't talked in a long time, but like, these, like if you, that's like the weird thing about this is like you create these honest moments and memories and things to where me and her don't really talk directly that much anymore, but we still are very fond of each other, and like when we do talk, it's like if we never there was you have those friends that like it could be like years, but then like when you're together, it's just like you left off. Where like me and Rose are like that. Like we would go we'd be like close where we want to spend like all the time together, and then like we don't spend any time together. But when we do spend it, it's just like blah blah blah. And we're doing the same jokes, and we're laughing about the same stuff, and we're angry about whatever, whatever it is. And we're just like right back where we left off. And it feels so funny, but like that's like if you have, which I think what we're all like searching for, like that's this, like this is what we're honestly here for. to grow our understanding of ourselves in relationship to reality, and to even transcend that limitation into launching us onto things that are, for lack of a better word, sacred. Those are the things that are beyond the material, that are like the eternal, that's the true meaning of the flower and the song, right? Like us, we're the flower, we're the biological thing that has like, that ticking time on where we bloom and then we die.
Yes.
And then, but the song part is people throughout generations sharing that story on and on and on. And like that's the curious and interesting thing, because for me, there's that, intellectual stuff about like this type of stuff, but I've had weird direct experience with it. Like I didn't read about Azakin in a book. Yeah. And my understanding of it, or my curiosity of it, wasn't someone telling me about it. It was me having an experience that I couldn't put into words, and then I had to like go and find what it meant.
I think that's maybe the thing that we share, is that deep, intuitive pattern recognition.
Yeah.
And that's maybe why community and people are so important to us, is because we need people that can cope with our intensity. And maybe there are people that need to... You see, I left my home when I was 20. I left all my school friends, everybody that I knew. I moved to another country. I started again. I spent about 20 years there. I built up. I learned the names of all the neighbors. I made a community. I left. I came here. I was here for 10 years. 2 years. I got mentally ill. I was on these medications. So for like 40 years of my life, I've just been without a group of friends. Sort of with books or with therapists, a lot of therapists, and doctors, and this bizarre sort of institutional support that I've had. And then meeting you and asking, because I was adrift, I didn't know what to do, and sort of asking you one of my foundational questions of like, what do I believe in? What is there to believe in? And the beginning conversation that we had about like the necessity, whether belief was even a necessary thing, or whether it was just the actions and the being and the doing that was necessary. Yeah. So it's been a fascinating thing for me working with you and observing your process and noticing how your poetry alters the way I feel about myself and the world. The way that you express yourself. I don't need psychiatric drugs, I don't need alcohol, I don't need weed, I don't need anything. It's something pure, that just the language causes a cognitive change. And that was a huge door revelation to me about the nature of poetics and cut-ups and words and I suppose that, like you say, the sort of intentional knowing what you were doing when I didn't know what I was doing. That sort of model to follow.
Yeah, it is interesting because I think too, and I've mentioned this before in our chats, that to SatoriD too, but more so to Daniel, you have been like this interesting gift that I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't looking for it, but somehow you wound it up on my island, attracted, no boat. I'm like, get here! You shouldn't be here!
I know!
It's very dangerous, and I gotta look out for you.
And you have! And everything that you said, like, it's worked. I kind of like to, I'll just... The whole mythology, the whole understanding of the shell as a weaver, like you say, the language becomes sacred because it's supported sort of, like the integrity of my being, It's given me a way to communicate feelings that were just charging around in my mind. And because I'd had this odd and sort of unusual experience of being without those group of friends and without the people to turn to, I was totally adrift and needing an anchor. Yeah. And it was so interesting to me because you were this person saying, no, everything's a maybe and this and that. And I'm like, and this is reassuring to me.
That's why even now I go, I don't know if that made sense or push me further into the screaming abyss.
Yeah, you just, I just in the screaming abyss. Oh, this is just my life and it looks to everybody else like this is just my normal.
See, I I live in the screaming abyss, so we are in the screaming abyss.
It can't get further in than this.
But like that's kind of an interesting thing too, where I'm the more, and I think this is like, you know, I read that thing about creativity, and then when I said it, oh, it's true and not true.
Yes.
Where, like, when I'm creating, you know, when I'm doing the video editing or writing, like I have to stop, like my brain, like my thinking, the Daniel kind of part of myself, and just like play, listen, you know, give over to the music and do what I do in the full SatoriD mode. But to help you or to like teach you the first poet way. Like that didn't exist until you came and I had to like think of something to do. And so I'm like, I have to